Hello and welcome to another episode of Comic Breakers, where we break down and review all things comic booky. I am your first host, Nolan Vanoy.
And I am your second host, Brian Stork.
And this week we're going to be talking about episode 5, Truth of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Perhaps the best episode yet, ?
There's a good chance this is my favorite so far.
Yeah.
I going into this, I think you mentioned that this was the penultimate episode, and I was like,
right.
What? Because
Yeah.
it really, going into it, did not feel like we were that close to the end.
I think there's reasons for that.
Yeah. But I think now it feels a lot more focused going into the last episode.
For sure. It's also, it takes the series kind of back to the first episode. And that sort of, in terms of levels of stakes, I mean, at the very top of it, it's super, I mean, it's massive scale for the first 10 minutes. And then the second, the rest of the episode is all personal drama. Yeah. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's really, really good.
If there's one thing that the Marvel movies and shows know how to do, it's taking your characters home to a small house in a rural area to just work through their troubles, chop some wood, fix a boat, have a
always
have a
gotta
nice
chop
little...
some wood.
I love
meet a family you don't know about.
I love the multiple boat fixing flash montages.
The first one started and I was like, oh hell yeah, I love a good montage. Yeah, taking care of business every day.
Every way you might
say. And then they did it again. And then they did it a third time, and I was so down for every single one of them.
There's a solid 20-minute stretch of this episode that's just multiple montages.
Right. What I love about those montages and those sections of the show is that you get these cool little character moments that you don't get otherwise, like Sam asking Bucky why didn't you use the arm when he's trying to fix that thing with the wrench, and he was like, well, I don't even think of it because I'm right-handed. And when was the last time you ever heard a superhero talk about what their dominant hand was?
It's great, and I love the conversation that they have when they're throwing the shield around. I think
it's
really
like
fun.
Two guys throwing a football,
Except one
it's a mythical shield
that could easily decapitate. The shield is terrifying in this episode. I would
say.
It
is. It's so scary.
During the whole Sam montage of him throwing it, trying to learn how to do trick shots and stuff with it. That's scary. It's just
multiple times. I think there was one watching it the first time that it actually made me jump.
Yeah. Because it's just hurtling at your neck, at Mach speed.
And and they definitely make it very terrifying in the opening fight sequence. Let's talk about that fight sequence.
It's great. It's so good. It's
unbelievable how good it is, and it also is ridiculously violent.
It's so violent. The way
it's so violent.
This whole episode had me flinching a lot. For the percentage of it that is fixing a boat, it did have me flinching a fair amount. The moment when he's got Sam on the ground and you feel just how much stronger John Walker is than either of these guys, and he's he could just murder Sam right there, and then
I had a thought about that. So he's definitely obviously stronger than Sam, physically stronger than Sam. I think that Bucky is probably just as strong as John, but to me there's multiple moments in that fight where I see that Bucky is just going for the shield, and he's not trying to actually hurt John.
Okay, I feel that. I think...
And I think it's really interesting.
I think Bucky is a lot more on par with him strength-wise. I think that the arm is stronger than John Walker is. I think that the Bucky section of Bucky is stronger physically than Sam. I don't think he's quite Super Soldier level, because you even see it when he's fighting Steve in Winter Soldier, where it's he's favoring the metal arm because Steve kind of has an edge on him otherwise, strength-wise. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, I just think that every step of this fight is so well put together and shows who these people are so well.
Yeah. It also, it is a perfect soldier that has been dosed with the super soldier serum, who has been trained in all of the perfect soldier ways, versus two guys. Yeah. And so I think that's why he is so formidable in the fight against both of them.
Yeah.
And because I think Bucky's holding his punches to some extent, and obviously Sam's not trying to kill him either, but he is trying to murder them. Definitely. He's off his rocker.
He's fucking crazy.
He's totally off his rocker. And I think on second viewing, like the first viewing, I was like, watching the fight, I was like, yeah, beat his ass. Yeah. And watching the episode again and watching the conversation that he has in the Senate, like with whatever that sort of joint chiefs of staff thing
the like military tribunal.
He gets reprimanded at.
Yeah.
Right. While the man is just certifiably wrong in a number of ways and has committed some terrible crimes, I think I feel sad for him more than anything else. Because when he says, I'm what you made me to be, I'm what you told me to be, what he's talking about is like what the U.S. military does to people. Yeah. You know, the kind of trauma that it inflicts on people. And when this person already has an insecurity problem about, am I good enough? Combine that with the super soldier serum, you end up with what John Walker is acting like right now. You know?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think piggybacking off of that kind of not really court-martial section, but that military tribunal thing, surprise Julia Louis-Dreyfus is excellent.
Seinfeld is here in all of its glory.
I mean, hell yeah. How did they keep this? Did people know about this beforehand? Because I didn't.
No, nobody knew. All people knew that there was a cameo in episode 5, and I think a lot of people knew that it was going to be a woman and that it was an Oscar-winning actress. I didn't know it was this. Wasn't even close on my radar for what I thought the character was going to be.
And this is what was her full name again? Do you remember it?
Oh gosh, I don't remember it. But she's Madam Hydra, but is also a SHIELD agent.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up her full name real quick.
It's like Constantina de Allegra de Valentina Tostido.
Her full name is, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is playing a character named Contessa Valentia Allegra de Fontaine, is her full name.
Yes.
AKA Madam Hydra.
Right.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And so I'm curious of what this is setting up, because I think there's two ways that you could go with it, because this character has been a SHIELD agent and she's been Madam Hydra. Yeah. And so are they bringing Hydra back? So the last time we saw Hydra was in the first Ant-Man, and they were trying to get some Pym particles.
Is that in...
That's in the first Ant-Man.
There's not another Hydra-ish buyer or anything in the second one, right? It's...
There is a buyer, but there's no information about it. It's just Walton Goggins talking about his buyer. Perhaps maybe was a setup for the Power Broker?
Or Kang wanted to buy some tiny houses or whatever Ant-Man and the Wasp was about. But
he's got to have a tiny house. He's got to take it down to Chronopolis.
But I think
well, so so she could be Hydra. She could be whatever Hydra has now grown back into. Yeah. Or this could be some form of a Thunderbolts setup. But I also think there's another Thunderbolts possible reference in this show, in this episode.
There's for sure a Thunderbolts tee up in here. But I think that I don't think Hydra ever really left. I think that I mean, they talk about when Hydra fell and stuff like that, like with the scientists kind of getting left out in the cold. But I don't think that that Hydra has ever really ceased to exist, with all the times that it's gotten crushed and stuff. I think that there's always some weird group of old white people in a room doing the Hydra salute.
Well, it's when you take off one head, two more grow in its place. You can't get rid of it. It ain't going nowhere.
They're gonna kill Madam Hydra and then fucking Michael Richards and Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's Michael Richards. There was no choice. We killed the other ones.
Yep. We get and so then you have to get George Costanza in there.
Well, he's busy. He's Cy Borgman on Harley Quinn. Do you watch that show, Harley Quinn?
No,
it's really
good.
You would like it.
I've heard it's
great.
Good. Yeah, I've heard
he's got a cyborg wheelchair. It's fantastic.
So, what do you feel like? because that's clearly hinting that they have purpose for him after this show.
Yeah.
I just want to know how, where, what did because
is he gonna be like the kind of equivalent of like the Hydra Cap?
No, definitely, certainly not.
No, yeah.
I don't think so. I also think that she's probably affiliated with the U.S. government right now.
Yeah.
Because she seems to, that's what she was, she kind of talked about.
But she talked about
kind of
them,
speaking from that
She
lens,
talked about them as if they were another force, like the people in that room who don't know what they're talking about and think. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wonder if they even...
She also does talk about the legal gray area
of the shield.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely, he's going to be after that shield, is like the physical thing he's going to be going for, I think. But the I'm not even 100% sure they know who she represents yet. I think she might just be part of whatever the next shadowy thing is.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
But I can we talk about that other? Can we talk about Zemo in this episode?
The actual
that whole thing.
One, I have a very specific feeling about how it's in all the trailers, and it's sort of played as like a dramatic, cool action moment, but I think it's actually a really amazing thing that is like the best sort of compliment reason for people to go to therapy possible.
Yeah. So Zemo escaped in the last episode from all of the people who wanted so very much to kill him.
Right.
And Bucky has gone off to go and find him. He's pretty sure he knows where he is. And when we come back to Zemo, we see that he is just standing at the Sokovian Memorial. And then Bucky shows up and they have an interaction. Yeah. I like how it starts where Zemo is like, "I have decided not to kill you." It's like, right. And what's his reaction is like, "I imagine my relief."
He says, "Imagine my relief." Yeah, as if Zemo had any chance of killing Bucky. Yeah. What I think is so it's played as this dramatic kind of action movie moment, but I read it very specifically as like Bucky has gone to Zemo with a gun and with bullets in a hand. Yeah. Giving himself the opportunity to be a killer and to kill Zemo.
Yeah, he puts the gun to his head.
Right. And actively makes the choice to not put the bullets in the gun and to not be a killer. Yeah. And I think it's like in therapy when you're told to write a letter and never send it, Yeah. I think it's amazing, and it was really beautiful.
And it's also the way that Zemo nods to him when he's got the gun to his head. This is what he wants, and he's not going to get it. He's Zemo's entire arc in these stories is generally just people refusing to let him commit suicide. It's just people preventing him from shooting himself. And I think that
he would have loved to have been proven right by having Bucky kill him.
That would have been his perfect way to go out. Even the setting was very queued up by him for that.
Right, yeah.
And then the Dora Milaje come in, they arrest Zemo, and they mention that they're going to be taking him to the raft.
Which is interesting in one sense because, like, that's not Wakandan jurisdiction in terms of justice. They're just taking him to a different, not Wakandan prison.
Yeah, you would think that they would want to take him back to... Maybe there was some behind-the-scenes conversations there of being like, please don't do that.
Or maybe they just have to take him there for the story reason of the raft is looked over by Thunderbolt Ross. Yep. So
Thunderbolts.
And who else? So I wonder if Abomination is there right now.
Yeah, probably, right? Because I know, and there's a good chance they're just going to completely ignore this because they mostly ignore things that happen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But they have said where Abomination is in that show. They say that he's in like an Arctic. Like cold storage prison.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which
they probably, they could just say that they moved him.
Yeah, transferred him to the raft. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in She-Hulk we see his transfer, getting transferred somewhere. But
unfortunately, I just kind of feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just kind of being slowly made not at all
just
canon,
like,
you know?
Just put one character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in there. Just bring in Patton Oswalt. Put him in the background. Why you gotta hurt me so?
He would do it. He would do it.
But no, I think this is the most direct Thunderbolts tee-up. That Zemo is under the protection of good old Thunderbolt.
I wonder... Here's a little bit of breaking here. I wonder if... So it's all clearly headed towards there's going to be some big sort of knockdown, drag-out fight between the Flag Smashers, who don't matter, John Walker, Sam, Bucky, and Batroc also.
Hell yeah, he's back. Batroc lives,
Batroc's back, baby. Batroc lives.
God, he's going to die. He's going to die, isn't he?
I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't.
I want him to live so bad.
He could... Brian... He could be a Thunderbolt.
Yeah, Batroc the Thunderbolt.
Hashtag Batroc the Thunderbolt. You got us this far with Batroc Lives. You brought him back into into Falcon and the Winter Soldier with this hat. No. I'm saying all of our listeners did on Twitter with that.
I did it.
Our listeners on Twitter with the big hashtag Batroc Lives.
No, it was me.
That's how he got. It was just
you. I broke into the Marvel offices and I held a gun that didn't have any bullets in it to the actor who plays Zemo. And I went,
to Daniel
Batroc
Bruhl?
must live. And Daniel Bruhl was like, that doesn't mean anything to me. And then I left. And so I'm pretty sure that's why.
Why did Daniel Bruhl have the power to make that happen?
I mean, he was just the only one who was there, to be honest.
Okay.
But it,
gotcha.
It works. If it works, it works.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got back.
That's also how we got the 1 hour Zemo dancing.
Yes, that is. Yeah. Well, there actually was that Twitter campaign of release the Zemo cut that actually worked, and they just released all the footage that they had. So they're gonna have that big knockdown, drag out fight between those four. You know, maybe there's power brokers. People are gonna show up as well, so that's definitely possible. So maybe it's 5 entities are all gonna be beating ass in New York together in the next episode. I wonder if John Walker gets taken to the raft after this. If that happens, then it's 100% happening. Thunderbolts. That's going into production. You know. Yeah. I wonder if they are gonna do the black U.S. agent suit, or if he still has his blue Captain America suit.
I think there's a very good chance, and he's making his own shield already. I think there's a really good chance he'll have his own black suit.
Yeah.
Because also he's gonna have to stealth his way in there anyway. So it kind of as much as any suit makes sense in these movies, it makes sense for him to have a darker, less less big and flashy suit.
I mean, I want to see the black and red suit. It's a dope costume.
It is. And I think it'll just help differentiate him from because Sam that box definitely has a new Cap suit in it. I think we need different colors.
Obviously.
Different colors for
John. For sure. Well, you know something I thought about is there's no white on his Captain America suit. And I don't know if that's anything that's actually at all symbolic.
On whose?
There's no white on John Walker's.
Isn't there in
there's a little A, but it's kind of silvery. It's kind of gray.
That's true. That's true.
There's no like big white star or anything like that on it. But that's probably nothing. It's just a small thought I had. But like Sam's suit there's gonna be a ton of white on it. That's just the Falcon Cap outfit.
Do you think it'll have the wings as part of it?
Oh, absolutely. It will have the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think you. I mean, you definitely could, but you'd have to just sort of do some. The audience would have to do some mental stretching. But like, Sam needs the wings.
Yeah, that's true. Also, why go to the Wakandans if you're not going to put cutting edge wing tech in there?
Right.
And I think and we've also established that Torres is his name. I keep forgetting it all the time. That he's got the wings now and he can go and
he's gonna be Falcon.
I guess just become the new Falcon on his own. I don't know.
So they sort of it must have been intentional. It's a little silly, but in the first episode he's got that thing where he's trying to correct Sam on how to fix Red Wing.
Yeah.
And so I think that was them trying to sort of show you that he's tech savvy.
Yeah, he
so maybe he'll start trying to sort of like put it back together. Red Wing will live. Red Wing lives.
Red Wing always lives.
What if we get a Captain America Red Wing? Patriot Wing.
Red, white, and blue wing? 3 wings?
Yeah. 3 wings.
Red wing, white wing, and blue wing?
Hashtag 3 wings.
Hashtag 3 wings. I almost care more about that now than Batroc getting his neck snapped by somebody during this episode.
Okay, if Batroc has to die, who would you feel the least bad about doing
Julia
it?
Louis-Dreyfus.
That'd be kind of fun. Because she would have a great line.
Yeah. Man, the Flag Smashers just don't work.
They just
there was a brief shining moment when they were talking about philosophy where they kind of worked, and then in this one again they just don't make any sense.
They don't. Yeah, no, for sure. They don't make any sense, and it all goes back to the same thing of there's clearly a cut plot line that would have given them a tangible desire beyond this sort of philosophical thing.
Yeah.
But I never really am given a chance to care about this philosophical thing because I don't see what they're actively doing to make it happen.
It seems like all they're doing is making life...
Other than just straight murder.
Yeah, it seems like all they're doing is murder and making life worse for the people who they say they're, like, trying to lift up. Because literally, like, when the camp that they're staying at gets raided and cleared, and I guess they put everyone who lived there in prison or relocated,
I guess, yeah.
Which is incredibly fucked and also very realistic for what would actually probably happen.
This whole episode is extremely realistic.
But even then, the Flag Smashers still don't work because when Carly is like, she says something along the lines of like, how many times do we have to pay with our lives to be citizens of this planet? Like, bro.
And I just don't care.
You are a murderer. Like, you did this. Like, this is, you have to understand that this is your fault. Because it's like, it's horrible what the government, or I guess the GRC, or whatever organization it was, did this to this place, but she knew that's what they would do because that's her whole deal. So, and she still allowed these people to shelter her. And then when they get taken, she doesn't think, what have I done? She thinks, oh, what have they done to me?
Right.
Fuck you.
And it would even be different if like we had seen, if we'd been given any opportunity to see them doing something that is actually helping people.
Yeah.
But the fact that like she's just out there terrorizing people and she's getting shelter from, you're right. She knew that was going to happen,
and she let it happen.
She did it anyway.
Yeah. And there was never any internal conflict within her. There's two things we didn't see that I think makes this especially bad, barring the missing plot line. One, it has been made clear to us multiple times that she could get shelter anywhere. Because
he literally says you will find shelter wherever you go.
Exactly. And yet she still chooses to live here with these people. Two, she never has a moment where she goes, we need to be careful that what's happening here stays with us, that it's on our shoulders. We can't let these people take the brunt of it. Right. She never brings that up. She just accepts everything that's handed to her without the idea of like, I could be spreading this to these people, you know? Like she's when you're supposed to be a general building an army.
Those people are suffering the consequences of what she's doing for her.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think the reason that the only time that it really worked for me was when she was talking to Sam, and I hope that we get another. I think we will get another instance of this.
I'm certain we will
in this next episode. That's what he brings up is like you have to accept responsibility for what you've been doing. Like you can't just hide behind your ideals and what other people do. You have to accept personal responsibility for who you are, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And she doesn't work in both scenes, and it's not her fault. It's not the actor's fault.
No.
It is like, it's a missing plot line's fault. And probably even with the missing plot line, I think there would still be holes that in their side of the story that would need to be dealt with.
You know what, we could talk about a thing that really worked was Sam going back to visit Isaiah.
Oh yeah, that's amazing scene.
Yeah,
amazing scene.
I think the biggest fear going into this show was that they weren't going to tackle what it means to be a black man wearing that suit and carrying that shield.
Right.
As
and
directly.
They go all the way.
Yeah.
They go all the way with it. It's like, you know, we talked about it, I think, back when we covered episode 2, but I I don't know if I necessarily expected them to, but like the standard route would have been to basically have episode 2 be as far as you go into that, into that conversation.
That would be about what Winter Soldier, Civil War, how far they went into those debates.
Would have done, where they just showcased it but didn't make any sort of absolute statements about it. And this show goes all the way with it, and I really applaud the boldness and the integrity in doing that. Like, and I think this show is all the better for it. It really, like, stuff like this and the subtextual content of all of this story and the quality of the story with John Walker really sort of lifts up the parts of the show that don't work.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. And it's, it's just, and I mean, we just said it just there, but just reiterating, like, even going as far as saying, like, not only would they never allow for a black Captain America, no self-respecting black man would want to wear that. Like, to put that fine a point of it and go, like, this has never been a symbol for us. And it's, like, it's just tackling that head on and then saying, okay, well, how do we make it something better? Mm-hmm. Or is it possible to make it something better, to strive for an ideal that has never been what that shield has really represented, Mm-hmm. And I think it's incredibly risky to do that, and I think there'll probably be backlash from people, the same people who probably identify with John Walker. But I think overall it is absolutely the right way to go with this kind of story.
Right. Yeah, and what I also love is that the show, like, while the show, Isaiah Bradley rightly has the cynical view, of no self-respecting black man would ever want to. And, like, you cannot fault him for having that view. The show manages to say that Sam is going to do something different, but still empathize and understand and care about, and not just say that Isaiah Bradley is not wrong. Yeah. The show isn't telling you that, and I think that's a really tough line for it to walk, but it's doing it really well.
Yeah, and it's the right place for his, like, kind of dark night of the soul to be, is to have to stare into the face of that and be like, this is not what you thought it was, and I think there was a fear also going into it to this show of the the like Hobbs and Shaw problem, the other Hobbs and Shaw problem, which is that the two main characters are too similar. I think there was a bit of fear for me that Sam and Bucky aren't inherently similar. I think they have very different outlooks, but their moral center and the things that they believe and the people that they believe in are pretty much the same. But finding the difference in the fact that this shield is, like Bucky says, the closest thing he has to a family, and it's like the thing he really believes in, and having Sam's belief in that shield be totally swept out from under him. And I think that's great.
Right. And I think the show is really about both of their beliefs about themselves also, especially Bucky, and so even though they have very different outlooks, they also have very different views of themselves, but also are still dealing with the same idea of not being worthy.
I think a lot of this comes down to worth, to self-worth and inherited worth. And I think the can we talk about the whole Sharon thing?
Let's talk about what's going on with that thing. I don't like it.
I don't fully understand it yet. So she is the one who's been commissioning Batroc.
Yes. I wonder, so, gosh, I've seen people talk about it two ways. I've seen people reference the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D. hired Batroc at the beginning of Winter Soldier. Right. And that was like the thing that she was referring to when she said that she could pay it again. But no, that can't be it. She's talking about the beginning of the show, right?
What was he trying to do in the first episode?
He had captured an army captain, Captain Vassant, and I don't necessarily know what the game was beyond that.
They were just trying to get him across the border. I thought as like a hostage or as a...
Because he says, if we get to the border, he's not going to follow. He says that. It's my favorite line of the episode.
I think it's hilarious that in all of Batroc's appearances, he's almost exclusively been working for S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
But that is kind of fun.
I think, is he even a real pirate? Is he an actor?
Yeah.
But I think this puts a lot of credence to the Sharon being the power broker thing. I still don't think that's it because just the speech pattern of the power broker is not at all how Sharon. She talks.
Yeah.
It's
I don't subscribe to that. I definitely it pushes the idea further for sure that it's a possibility. I still don't think that because she doesn't talk that way. I also don't think that they would. Also, Zemo seemed to know of the power broker before he even went to prison.
Right, and now it could be a thing that the power broker used to be some person, but during Sharon's time having to live in Madripoor, she became that. Maybe the power broker is more of a title. I don't know.
It's like Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins.
Yeah. Sharon is essentially Liam Neeson. But I think
Liam Neeson to play Sharon Carter in the sequel. Recast Sharon Carter.
I think it would also be weird for Sharon to be sending Batroc because the power broker is hunting the Flag Smashers, so to send them an agent,
right?
Unless he's going to turn on them.
So here's the thing. I think that she may have sent him there with the intent of undermining the Flag Smashers, actually.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's really possible.
But the weird thing about it is he's motivated by wanting to kill Sam.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I need to rewatch the scene and see. I should put on subtitles and sort of see if I can hear sort of exactly what he's saying. But I don't think they reference Sam in that scene.
Yeah, maybe
because she wouldn't send him if she knew that he was gonna go to kill Sam.
Sharon's just a big question mark because like the way that she was written when she showed up before, where she's like got a lot of hate for these people now, but still is willing to help them, but maybe she's actually working against them. I don't know. I don't think we can really place what she's doing yet.
I do think, here's what the only thing that I feel very certain of, I do feel like she's definitely working for the power broker in some capacity.
Yeah.
Or at least working very near to the power broker in some capacity.
I will also say there's no way she ends up a villain, obviously.
Oh, definitely not. No way.
She's still working some kind of angle to do something good guy-ish.
Right.
But
and they wouldn't set up the seed of like get me a pardon in episode 3, if they weren't intending to actually follow through on that.
Wild that Steve never got her a pardon because he was still around for the 5 years.
That's true. He was. Maybe he just forgot.
Yeah.
Plot hole. Or maybe he was embarrassed that he kissed his future past wife's niece.
Yeah, future niece. Yeah, it's
Come on, Speed.
Let's not pull that thread, I guess.
Yeah. So John's making his own shield. I want to talk about this.
Okay.
John's making his own shield, and he's like forging his medals of honor into it, painting it red, white, and blue, of course.
Okay. Is it not going to be red, white, and black? It's going to be red, white, and blue again?
I think it's going to be red, white, and blue.
I want that black star. I want it.
I feel like I saw a blue, like him blue in that scene.
It might have been. I couldn't really tell.
I want to know what metal he's making it out of.
It's just like foil. It's just like he throws it once and it just
sheet
shatters.
Metal. I will see. I want. It's gonna if it holds up in the fight that is coming.
Yeah.
Against the real shield, I'm gonna have some problems unless they explain that somehow he managed to get his hands on like Steve's one that got broken in half during the endgame battle, which like honestly, that'd be kind of fucking cool.
It would be, but I think we would have seen.
We would have known
during the forging,
but it wasn't.
We would have seen
the crack. Yeah, and you'd also be like, how the fuck did he get that?
Also, I don't think you want to get rid of the symbolism of the crack down the middle if he's gonna. But I think that there's a very good chance it might be too funny, but it is a very Marvel move
that it just breaks
if
immediately.
The first time it makes contact with the real shield, it just cracks in half like an egg. I think that would be.
Here's
fun,
the thing:
but...
maybe it'll be like he'll be there, like maybe just straight up murdering Flag Smashers.
Oh yeah, all of these guys are gonna die except maybe Carly
before Sam and Bucky even get there. And it's the shield is doing really well that he made is doing really well against those people.
Yeah.
But the second it comes into contact with the real shield, it like it breaks in
That's
half or something.
very
like
symbolic. I would like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I also I also think that it would be a fun kind of action, not exactly a set piece, but a fun thing to have going on, a nice gimmick, if throughout the fight the shield is just getting beaten to hell more and more progressively. Like it's like getting dented and getting like
Right.
jacked to the side and like getting pieces knocked out of it as
Yeah.
he's getting more like battle enraged and less stable. Right. And I think that could be a fun visual comparison for how his head's doing right now.
You know what I just thought of that could be really interesting?
Yeah.
Is if at the end of this, like, he has to go to the raft or some kind of prison, and he has to do mandated therapy with the same therapist that Bucky is with.
He's in group therapy with Zemo.
With Zemo, Bucky, and John Walker all together. And Abomination just gets so angry sometimes.
I think that Abomination should, in the period of like 10 years or whatever since we've seen him last, I think he should have come very far in therapy. I think he should be.
Yeah. Oh, I bet he has.
I think he should have a lot of kind of done internal soul searching, and now he's ready to become a functioning member of society again.
Could you imagine him like, man, I want to see like just a one shot of like the struggles that Abomination goes through when he's trying to like get coffee in the morning, and like he wants to go see a movie, but everyone's scared of him, but then he can't even fit through the door anyway.
I mean, it really has been so long since we've seen him. I want to see him.
There's no way he's still pissed.
Yeah, I really want to see him in She-Hulk literally just be like a functioning member. Like he's just walking around in his like little suit.
Yeah, that's like specifically designed to fit around his
spikes and stuff.
His spikes on the back. Yeah.
I think that'd be a good sign.
He looked better as Doomsday than BVS's Doomsday did.
He did, yeah.
That's too bad. You think about like what John's wife is doing upstairs, honey? I'm working on my shield.
I'm doing some woodworking. The chair is not level. She comes downstairs. It's made of their dining room table.
I'm honestly, now that I said that about the therapist, I'm honestly like almost certain that he will have to have mandated therapy.
Yeah, I think we'll get a Trouble Man style end montage, and I think it would be very fun if John's part of the montage is in mandated therapy.
For sure. He needs it.
And does,
in order to make him functional even as an anti-hero in the future, he's gonna have to get some rehabilitation. Like, the man is deeply mentally ill.
My last question, before we head into the final episode of this show: if one character has to die, who's your money on, or who would you most prefer?
Who are my options in terms of like big characters?
I mean, really anyone who could show up again. I mean, Julia Louis-Dreyfus obviously isn't gonna die, but if it could be anyone, I'm putting everyone on the board. Obviously, characters who won't die. So like you've got Sharon, Sam, Bucky. You've got John, you've got Batroc, you've got Carly. We know all of her friends are going to die, so they don't count. I think those are the main players, probably.
I'm definitely taking Sam, and neither Sam or Bucky is going to die.
Obviously.
I feel pretty certain about that.
Right.
Sharon will survive this. Yeah. For sure. John, pretty sure, is getting less sure now, but I like 89, 90, 92%.
I think it would be a mistake to kill him.
I agree, because I think the character has a lot of beautiful places that it could go. Yeah. And I also think that Wyatt Russell is just so good.
Well, and also I think I've said it in every episode that it means so much more for him to get arrested than killed.
Yeah, for sure. You've been saying it since the day
I was born.
The day you was born, that John Walker needed to be arrested.
Yeah. You could hear me in the ultrasound.
Yep.
John Walker needs to be arrested.
So that would leave Batroc and Carly.
Batroc can definitely die. I don't think they'll kill Carly, although I think it honestly, like, because it makes me sad because I think it's a waste of Erin Kellyman. But I don't want to see her in anything in the future, really.
Yeah, I don't think.
If I do, like, they have to really reframe her character.
Yeah, I don't think, even if she lives, I don't think she comes back after this in anything more than like a really short cameo.
Here's a thought that I had, and I don't think they'll go there, and I think it would be a massive mistake to go there. Does Isaiah Bradley get involved at any point beyond this?
No, I think he's done. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think we might get Sam visiting him again in that last montage of like a kind of more friendly like.
I think that's how you would maybe hint at Elijah becoming Patriot also.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whenever we get Young Avengers, we'll see Isaiah again, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you do that kind of Trouble Man thing, which I think you're right, that's definitely going to happen. That sort of karma montage.
Yeah.
There'll be some like Sam gives Elijah something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get the. I think in some way Sam is going to force Bucky to be listening to the song. Like in some, I don't know how that's going to happen, but I think it's going to be like something like that. I don't know. It'll be fun.
One of my favorite moments of the show so far is when Zemo's like, "It is a perfect encapsulation of the African American experience."
He's out of line.
He's out of line.
But he's right.
But he's right. That shit is so funny.
Yeah. All right.
God, Daniel Bruhl. Zemo in this like. It feels like Zemo is really just here because he's adjacently related to the characters and because they wanted to bring him back. And so he doesn't necessarily need to be there for the story to happen, but I'm so glad that he is.
Zemo's fun in this in the way that Nick Fury is fun in half of the things he's in, where he doesn't have to be there, but he'll just come in and like be fun and then leave. And it's like, cool.
Right. That's basically what Zemo does.
Yeah. I'm all about it. Yeah. Stir up some conflict and then get out of there.
And then pull an El Chapo.
Yeah, pull a.
I can't believe he pulled an El Chapo.
He did pull an El Chapo.
I wish Bucky had been like, "What's an El Chapo?"
No, he must. But there is no way Bucky hasn't met El Chapo.
You're right. El Chapo definitely tried to purchase Bucky's services at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Last episode. I'm excited about it.
Yep, I'm excited about it too.
This one was great.
So give us a like, give us a rate, a subscribe, send up, do a little comment, hit the little bell thing. Anything to get us higher in the algorithm, please, dear God. Let us know what you thought of episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
We loved it, obviously.
Yeah.
But thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Take up the shield, boys.